Hello everyone and welcome back to Lucky15, where you've come in for a special vlog for tomorrow's horse racing at Goodwood. We're going to be previewing the whole card at Goodwood in the format of two each way Lucky15 bets like we normally do in the channel, and we'll also be taking one other look at another race at Galway in the festival over in Ireland, so stay with us for that selection there. But if you're brand new to the channel, welcome to Lucky15. I'm a daily horse racing tipster who makes tips in the format of an each way Lucky15 bet. We have our good days and we have our bad days, and the main purpose I created this channel is because one day I want to become a horse racing journalist, and I'm going back in September to study a master's degree in sports broadcasting journalism, and that's why I created the channel, to gain some experience in the world of uploading and creating content every day with the sport I love, which is horse racing, and also just to gain some confidence and experience in presenting in front of a camera. So I'd like to thank everyone for their support so far, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe, because I do have some big plans for this channel over the next few months or so. I'd like to get out and maybe do some stable vlogs, go to a few local stables. I don't live too far away from some good trainers, people like Marcus Tregoning, Richard Hannon, Rafe Beckett, Ken Cunningham-Brown, so I don't live too far away from some well-known horse trainers, and it might be nice to give you a look at behind the scenes of horse racing, which I think is quite a misunderstood sport, and that's something I really want to challenge as we develop this channel in the future. So please follow us if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel for more horse racing daily content. But like I said, this vlog is dedicated to day one of the Goodwood Festival. I will be at glorious Goodwood on Thursday at Ladies' Day, working for a broadcaster there. I can't name which one at the moment because I just don't want to jeopardise who I'll be working for, but please follow us on Twitter throughout Thursday, as I will be giving you my thoughts and feelings on the day on Thursday there. So follow us on Twitter at LuckyLotus15 if you don't already. Just going to go through on how today's selections ran on our each way Lucky15 bet. Our long shot was Too Many Diamonds for the Skeltons at Newton Abbot. Travelled nicely but didn't show a good turn of foot compared to its other rivals. However, our Nat 1 Euro Nightmare at Ayr, there was a few non-runners in that, so that was kind of disappointing with the Rule 4, considering we did get it at 5-1. But it won nicely, and it was definitely a more comfortable race for Euro Nightmare. Then we had Nessun Dormer at Galway in the 5:20, became a non-runner, and Rishaborg of Joseph O'Brien won that, with Barry Garrity riding his first winner since his return from injury in his first race, I believe. So well done, Barry. And then we had Hyperdrive, which we won't really go into at Galway in the 8:10, where he finished well back in the field. I don't know if something went wrong for him, but he didn't figure in the race. So it wasn't a bad day with our Nat winning, but it was also a bit frustrating that we didn't have any other good runners, and we didn't have Nessun Dormer run for us. So enough on today's horse racing. We're going to get stuck into day one of the glorious Goodwood Festival. Quite a tough few races to kick off with, but we start in the 150 with a horse that I think's got a fair chance tomorrow in what is quite a wide open handicap. And the horse that I've gone for here is Eddystone Rock, trained by John Best, and Kieran Fox takes the ride. Kieran Fox and John Best are red hot form at the moment. John Best is 5 from 9 winners in the last couple of weeks, so he's in very good form. He's not sending many runners out, but when they do turn up to the racetrack, they tend to be performing very well. Same with Kieran Fox, not getting too many rides, but riding a lot of those to win. So this one looks interesting on paper. Last time out, it finished in 6th place in a competitive handicap at York, where it was quite unlucky and did get a bit boxed in because it was running against the inside rail, and it really didn't get into the race towards the end, and it was a bit disappointing that one couldn't finish in a more prominent position. But it was only beaten narrowly back in 6th place, so you could probably forgive it for that run. It's 14-1 with bookmakers at the moment. It meets a few of the rivals that it met last time out at York, where again it's going to be a tight race tomorrow. Also an interesting stat as well is that a horse below 9 stone hasn't won this race since 2012, and this horse tomorrow will be carrying 9 stone 1, so that statistic bodes well for it. And I thought at a price with 4 places on offer at the moment, because there's 16 runners or more which you need and a handicap on the each way angle. I thought this horse had a very good chance tomorrow at making the frame. Our second selection tomorrow sees us go to another fairly tough race to go through, but I've come up with Mildenberger for Mark Johnston, James Doyle taking the ride, who's a fairly good jockey, rides all around the world. And Mark Johnston is a very good trainer. He's often hard to back if you don't know your horse racing too well. He's one of those trainers where he gets a lot of winners, but he also sends out a lot of horses as well. And he never normally gives them a break. He's always running them. And sometimes when you think they've had an off day, they will bounce back next time out and put in a really good performance. However, this horse, Mildenberger, is quite interesting on paper. 2 wins from 2 so far, coming at Newbury and Haydock. And I thought this horse had a very good chance tomorrow. It's got a very good pedigree. It will be meeting a few interesting newcomers as well. A few lightly raced horses in this lightly raced race for horses pretty much. There was Seahenge of Aidan O'Brien, which is interesting considering that one on its start, and Aidan O'Brien is not renowned for many first time out winners, so that could be an interesting one there. Probably its main danger in the race tomorrow, but I expect this horse Mildenberger to put in a good performance. And I thought at 11-2, he wasn't bad value for money there. So I've gone for Mildenberger in the 2.25 at Goodwood. We then go on to the Lennox Stakes in the 3 o'clock at Goodwood. And the horse that we've gone for here is a horse called Home of the Brave. Trained by Hugo Palmer, I should say. And James Doyle will be taking this ride again in the 3 o'clock at Goodwood. Quite an interesting runner. Got a good draw tomorrow from Stool 1, 13-2 bookmakers at the moment. Arrives here in a good vein of form with 2 wins this season from 2 runs. And they came at Leicester and last time out at Newmarket. This horse tends to be a battler and always tends to race very prominently. And if he can get off to a good start tomorrow, he should be in a prominent position and should definitely make the frame. And I at least thought from the each way angle at 13-2, he wasn't bad value there. So that's going to be our third selection tomorrow at Goodwood. We then go over to the big race at Goodwood for the day, and it's the Goodwood Cup. Now the favourite here is Big Orange for Michael Bell, which won a very cracking race at Ascot in the Gold Cup there, with a good battle with Knight of the Garter. Or no, sorry, I think it was Order of St George, sorry I should say. Or I can't remember which one of those two it was now, but he had a very good battle with an Aidan O'Brien horse there. And please let us know in the comments below to save my embarrassment of which horse it was there. But he won very nicely at Ascot in a very good battling performance. And even though he's currently evens at the moment, he is probably going to be the winner of the race tomorrow. There's no denying that. But the reason I haven't gone for him here is because I just thought he was a little bit too short for me being odds on. If he'd been something maybe more of the 2-1 kind of mark, I might have been able to get stuck into him a bit more. But I definitely think he's definitely the one to beat tomorrow. But I've gone with an outsider here that I thought was a little bit overpriced, and that was a horse called Qewy, trained by Charlie Appleby. William Buick takes the ride tomorrow. Now he was backed in the long race at Ascot over 2 miles and 5 furlongs. He's dropping back tomorrow to 2 miles, which will be a more comfortable distance for this horse. It also returned last time from a seasonal layoff where it hadn't ridden at a racetrack for well over 6 and a bit months. So I thought this horse tomorrow had quite a good chance. He also had been racing down in Australia, like I said, and he'd been running some good performances over there, over 2 miles, which this trip is tomorrow. I thought he could possibly come on for his run last time out at Ascot. He was also very well back that day at Ascot, and I don't think he's a bad horse. And I thought at 20-1, he was maybe one of the outsiders in the race that could definitely make the frame. And I thought he was very overpriced. In my opinion, I think he could be a market mover tomorrow and maybe even go off something like 8-1 in the end when we get more nearer to the race. But it'd be interesting to see how that one develops in the flagship race of the day. So that's my selection there. But please let us know what you think will win that race. Like I say, it probably will be Big Orange, but at a price, I thought Qewy was quite an interesting runner. That makes up our first way each way, Lucky 15. We then go over to the 410, which is a maiden race, which is going to be quite hard to predict. You normally want to go for experience if you're not familiar with horse racing when it comes to maidens. These are races where for a horse that hasn't won. We've gone for Algam here, trained by Richard Hannon, and Frankie Dettori takes the ride, who stole the headlines on Enable on Saturday in the King George. Frankie is probably kind of more of a better jockey in my opinion compared to Ryan Moore in these kind of races, but check out our vlog for the loader look there, where we have a debate in horse racing currently, and last week's vlog looked at Frankie Dettori and Ryan Moore, who's the better jockey, so take a look at that one if you haven't seen it already. But I thought this horse had a good chance tomorrow. It was second last time out, a 7-1 bookmakers. It raced at Epsom where it ran quite green, but can definitely improve for the run. Richard Hannon's horses tend to get better with experience. He won this race back in 2015 and I thought he had a good chance at a price. So that's going to be our first selection on our second way each way Lucky15 if you can follow us there. So our sixth selection at Goodwood tomorrow will then see us go to the 4:45, and the horse that we've gone for here is a horse called A Moment of Madness. Now this race will be over 5 furlongs tomorrow. They tend to call this type of race a dash. A Moment of Madness tends to run very well in these kind of races. He's often prominent front runner. He's trained by Charles Hills, who's not a bad runner. He'll be using the services of Harry Bentley tomorrow, which is quite a good jockey booking. Also, a few months ago, he finished second here over course and distance at Goodwood, and he's been progressing through the handicap, but he's still not too bad in the weights tomorrow. He comes in not a bad vein of form with 2 placed efforts. The only question mark you could say, he could be vulnerable to someone running home and chasing him down towards the end, but he tends to have battling qualities. But I thought he could be definitely an interesting one to make the frame tomorrow. So that's going to be our selection in the 6th race, and our second on our second each way Lucky15 bet if you can follow us on that one, because there's 4 selections on the Lucky15 bet if you're new to betting and horse racing, so stay with us on that one. Our last one on the card tomorrow is in the 5:15 at Goodwood, and the horse that we've gone for here is a horse called Pretty Asset, racing for Godolphin, trained again by Charlie Appleby. One of their main man, William Buick, who we've already said about, will be taking the ride tomorrow. Won very nicely last time at Newmarket, where it made a bad start but improved very nicely in the race and won well in the end. And this horse is 7-2 with bookmakers at the moment. It's nicely bred, and I thought it could be a very good horse to definitely make some more improvement tomorrow, and it's going to be my nap for tomorrow. So at 7-2 bookmakers at the moment, I thought that had a good chance of winning the race tomorrow, and it's still relatively unexposed, and I think this horse could definitely come on to bigger and better things. So that's my selection in the last race at Goodwood. We then go over to the Galway Festival, which we did mention about. We've gone over to the 7:40 here, where we're going with Sky Bet, where they're paying 5 places in the race. The horse that we've gone for here is a horse called Secret Wizard, trained by Sheila Lavery. Ronan Whelan takes the ride. Quite an interesting horse, coming in a good vein of form. It's 2 wins from its last 3 starts, and I thought 20-1, definitely overpriced horse. Bit of a wide open race, but it's very progressive. It's been running very well of late. Won last time out at Killarney in a very nice, good quality race there, where there was a few good horses running in that, and I thought if it can turn up tomorrow and run another good race like it's been running recently at 20-1, that was a great price in this kind of race where a lot of surprises could possibly emerge. So that's going to be our last selection and our only selection at Galway in the festival tomorrow, but that festival will be continuing all week long, so stay tuned over there in Ireland if you like your Irish horse racing. So follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us here on Lucky15 if you haven't done so already, and hopefully we'll have a good day tomorrow, and hopefully everyone will enjoy the glorious Goodwood.